James joins us now. Good morning, James. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I'm a little curious, though.
Okay.
January rolls around.
Yeah.
You've had the Christmas office party.
Yeah.
Are any of the Danettes' feelings hurt because they didn't get the present they thought they deserved?
Well, none of them got presents, so I don't. I got them nothing. I thought, but I treat them fairly, though, James.
Yeah, and they enjoyed nothing, I would assume.
What's the best present you ever got from a teammate, a quarterback?
Oh, you know what? I got presents when I was coaching, more so.
Oh, okay.
And so those, I save those just as much as you save that, that first art from your little kid. And so those are the special ones. I have a pair of old tennis shoes in the garage that Keenan McCardell gave me, and the sole is displaced from the rest of the shoe.
Yeah.
But I still keep them around because he gave them to me.
Why?
So because it's sentimental.
He gave you a pair of banged up shoes?
No, the shoes were new once.
Well, okay. You called the Packers and the Cardinals game.
Yes.
I suggested in the moment, after the Hail Mary,
I did too,
that they should go for 2.
Yep.
Why do you think they didn't go for 2?
And it's interesting because all week long, Mike McCarthy had talked about we're not underdogs, we're going down here to win. And I just think that makes such a big statement. I just think, you kind of try and play the odds. But the odds are if you don't win the coin toss, and they didn't win it twice, you don't win the game.
I just thought that the momentum was there at an all-time high because, and I'm also looking at what the Cardinals have to be thinking is, my God, how did we let this happen?
Yep,
and
they're shell-shocked.
Yeah, then you just, hey, we're ready to go for 2, line them up, and then maybe they're not ready for you. And I just thought, I can win it right there. I don't. Yeah. I don't know if I can win it in overtime.
And let me tell you this: if you try that on the road, you don't get booed. If you try it at home, you get booed.
What happened to Carson Palmer in that game? What was different about him that game as opposed to during the regular season when he was, in top 3 for MVP?
Well, I just think that there was tremendous pass rush. Julius Peppers, who's turning, 36 today and contemplating whether or not he's going to play next year, 10.5 sacks during the regular season, he looked like a 26-year-old out there during the course of the game. And when you move him into the middle, and at 6'7", all of a sudden you have to throw over him. Even if he doesn't sack the quarterback, they got that interior pass rush, and so that affected Carson Palmer. And people, you kind of forget about that. You forget about those little things because they don't always show up in the stat column.
How did Larry Fitzgerald get that open?
Well, you've got coverage that's sinking back, and Carson Palmer looked like he had been hit in the pocket, stumbled out of the pocket, and then he's displaced from the pocket, and he scans the field, and he just sees Larry. And Larry has only run 7 or 8 yards down the field in a play that has now taken 6 or 7 seconds. So the defense just softens up. And Larry Fitzgerald, wow, I was trying to describe what he was like during the course of the game, because Larry's not as fast as he once was. But he's like, remember when we were 13 or 14 years old and we thought we were faster than our dad, and we, because we're growing and all that, and we go out in the driveway when we play basketball against him, and he just out-muscles us at every turn.
Yeah.
And that's Larry Fitzgerald. He out-muscles guys at every turn. He just completes every play so well.
He's James Lofton, the Hall of Fame wide receiver, calling the playoffs on Westwood 1, and he's got the title game in the NFC, Cardinals and the Panthers. What interests you about the Panthers?
Their offense. Because when you look at an offense that the quarterback runs the ball a lot in, you think, well, this can't last. This is kind of gimmicky. This read option. It's what you see on Friday nights. It's what you see, in the ACC and the SEC from teams that don't have the right stuff. So they have to do a little gimmicky offense. And it's funny, Cam Newton will do that little fake. He leans forward a little bit, and the linebackers still bite up. They bite up, and he throws the ball to Greg Olsen or a little slant pattern to Ted Ginn. So it's still effective because of the guy who's running it.
And they lost Kelvin Benjamin during the preseason, during training camp. I mean, that's what's amazing is you lose your number one receiver.
Sure.
And you still have Olsen, who's very good, but Ted Ginn stepped up. I mean, they had a lot of production from a lot of different people. I just don't look at them as a great offense, but they put up points.
And they have timely production. And I think that's the key. They also extend the game for their defense. Their defense spends a lot of time sitting on the sideline. Now, they're a good defense, and they get off the field, but they grind it out. When you watch them, they use all of the shot clock. They don't hoist up a shot, as soon as they cross, the three-point line the first time. They pass it around, kind of like the old Hickory team would, and then they finally get a shot.
How can you tell if Peyton Manning is playing well?
I think at this stage of his career, because he has so much street cred, you don't think of Peyton Manning having street cred, but he has a lot of street cred. So all he has to do is get the W, and then he's played well. The passes can not be tight spirals. They can wobble a little bit. He can, call audibles at the line of scrimmage when he's not really calling audibles. And it would be great to see him go out there and have a game where he's, 22 out of 26 passes for 375 yards and 6 touchdowns. And maybe those days are gone. So we're still talking about, can you manage a game and can you win the game? Because that's what quarterbacks are measured by. We have a lot of quarterbacks who have great numbers, a lot of 5,000-yard passers, 4,000-yard passers, but guys who win. And that's the final analysis.
Yeah, I think we look at it, and I think you're right. I think we want Peyton to go out like we did John Elway. Like you just say, hey, he's got a chance to go out this way. And you look back on that Denver team. Now, granted, you don't have Terrell Davis, but you have a good defense. You have home field advantage. Why is Denver an underdog in that game?
I just think that they're an underdog because of the unknown of how their offense is going to perform. Because we saw Peyton Manning early in this season, and it didn't look pretty. And now we're waiting to see the end of the movie, and we hope it has a happy ending.
Were you in Buffalo when you guys faced the Oilers with the comeback?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because
I was there.
Troy Aikman brought that up.
Warren Moon and I were Pop Warner teammates, too.
Oh, you were?
Yeah. 1968, the Baldwin Hills Trojans.
Oh, wow. So anytime there's a big comeback, now, granted, it's, then always mentioning, remember the Buffalo Bills had that big lead, and Troy Aikman mentioned that on the game. He said, somewhere Warren Moon is talking about that comeback that Buffalo had against the Houston Oilers. How painful was that?
Well, I got to be totally honest with you, Dan. And when you're on the sideline, your mind flashes. So we're down at halftime, and we get the halftime speech, one play at a time, 0-0, but we know it's not 0-0. So we come out, Jim Kelly's not suited up, Frank Reich throws an interception, Bubba McDowell runs it back for a touchdown. And I come to the sideline, and just for a moment, Dan, just for a brief moment, it's a Saturday game, and I think to myself, it's Saturday, get packed up, get the kids' stuff packed up. We'll be back home by Wednesday, back to California. And and I have to go back out on the field because we received the kickoff. And so that flashes through your mind. And then we start to come back. And I see these stories about the game afterwards. And I see Darryl Talley, who commented after that interception, we had them right where we wanted to have them. And I go, no, we didn't.
So you're actually thinking that, hey, I'm going to have the kids packed up. We'll be back home in Los Angeles on Wednesday.
Exactly.
Man.
Oh,
but just
I got to be honest.
See the emotions there of, you're looking, and here's your good friend Warren Moon. Like, does this ever come up in conversation?
It doesn't, because it would be like, hitting him below the belt. So
but that's what friends do.
It really happened, and it's not like it was a gag. It's not like a gag gift. Because for Warren Moon, and Warren's in the Hall of Fame and all of that, but as great as his career was, he would have liked to have had a chance to play in the Super Bowl, and that team was good enough at the time to play in the Super Bowl, obviously.
How old is Warren now? See,
we're both. 60.
60.
Yep.
Wow.
But 60 is the new 40.
Yeah, something like that. If I took Warren Moon out there on a football field right now,
he could still spin it. No doubt about it.
He might be able to throw. Could he throw his age? Could he throw 60 yards?
In ideal conditions, I think he could.
I think he threw
there'd be a lot of grunting, though.
he only has to do it once. I think he threw the prettiest football in the history of the game.
You know what he really did? And see, we were high school quarterbacks in Los Angeles growing up, and my ball wobbled a little bit. I threw like Joe Cap.
Oh, that's not pretty.
No, it wasn't pretty, but we won, though. No.
Would you be what would surprise you more? The Cardinals beat the Panthers or the Broncos beat the Patriots?
Surprised at this point of the season, neither one of those outcomes would surprise me.
Cardinals beating the Panthers in Carolina would.
No, because Carson Palmer, 4,600 yards passing, all those weapons, those are guys that are hard to cover. And you've got a couple almost brand new, McLean and Cortland Finnegan, who've been with that team for 6 or 7 weeks. Mm-hmm. So sometimes those formations, those changes, you get a little communication issues. And we saw it, the pump fake where Russell Wilson missed Doug Baldwin. Those are the type of plays that Arizona runs all the time. They try and throw it over the top of your head.
Okay, I got 2 quick ones here. At their best, Favre or Rodgers?
Yes. What's the next question?
You're not going back to Green Bay anytime soon, so.
You know what? I've tried to catch a ball from Brett Favre in a pickup game just a little while ago, and he still has mustard on the ball. Aaron Rodgers throws the ball as well on the run as anybody. So how can you go wrong right there?
Okay, you can start your team with Cam Newton, Andrew Luck, or Russell Wilson right now.
Well, I went to Stanford.
Well, that doesn't mean you have to go with him.
Yeah, it means you jump on the bandwagon. You just tried to give me a bandwagon. You tried to knock me off the Green Bay bandwagon. Now you're going to knock me off my collegiate bandwagon? I'm not going to let that happen.
Can Christian McCaffrey play running back in the NFL?
Yes. Yes.
At that size, or is he going to have
second round pick for the New England Patriots?
Of course.
Boy, look out, league.
Well, but we have to compare him to a white guy, so he's going to be compared to who?
No. He's compared to Glenn Milburn. He's also a Stanford running back.
I remember Glenn.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
He's going to be compared to Wes Welker and Julian Edelman.
No.
And a Danny Amendola type.
No, I don't. I would compare him to Reggie Bush.
I could see that. I think maybe some Tavon Austin in there.
He's a little less straight line than Reggie Bush. He has a little more wiggle than Reggie. Reggie had a little better top-end speed, but I think Christian has a little better wiggle.
Hey, have fun this weekend. Always great to talk to you. And thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Hello,
Danette.
That's James Lofton, Hall of Famer. He's got the Westwood One radio call with the NFC title game.